Your matchup: Mickey Mouse from Fantasia, Bugs Bunny from Space Jam.
Just finds a way to win battles in a comical way, like a weapon that can obliterate.
Scooby-Doo's his way through all of his victories.
Oh, what an excellent new verb you've created.
RoboCop definitely has no fight in this game.
Welcome to another episode of RP, Really Passionate Geeks. 3 words, 3 geeks, and we're here to talk to you about really whatever the heck comes to mind. I'm Jon Wolheim, formerly the Gray Ranger from Power Rangers, AARP representative, and now middle-aged millennial. Happy to talk about everything that happened in the 90s before the world was on fire. My other 2 geeks, so excited to pass over to them. Let's go to Kiwi first. It was J-Dub's first last time.
Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you for the honor. I am Kiwi, and I just got to make a quick statement. I am thoroughly convinced as of today that Duke Nukem is really just Johnny Bravo with a gun. Nobody will ever unsee it again, and I'll go ahead and let Justin introduce himself.
All right. Well, I'm J-Dub here, and excited to be here as always with my fellow RPG crew. I'm the guy still living in the 90s as the world-class hacky sack champion 2-time. Not really, but
I was gonna say we gotta live stream it.
yeah. Hacky sack. That was such a 90s thing to do in high school, right?
Good
or any grade school. But that leads me into the other 90s. Fit check. Wearing my Nirvana classic shirt. What are you guys wearing?
Was that in utero cover? What album is that?
That is with the angel.
Oh, yeah. I'm rocking the Masters of the Universe here today. You got Orko over here, right? You got all your favorite. There's Skeletor. He-Man.
Yeah. That was on point.
I've worked on that for...
I see the whole cast there, but how come did they Photoshop you out of that or what? I don't see your face in there.
They did. They somehow a rather rotund 12-year-old ginger didn't make the cast of Masters of the Universe. I don't know how I don't know. I should
probably
talk to the gingers.
Yeah, European version. Well, today we're rocking the classic PlayStation. Just the symbols. That's all you need. That's all you need to know. If you're a fan, you're a fan. And I'm here for it.
I like it.
Well, today we have me as our Navi. And if you've watched the show or listened in, every single week, we take turns surprising the other 2 geeks with a guest, a new idea, or a topic that we can talk about. And today is a Navi topic that I've been waiting for a while. And it is a little game that I call Round 1 Fight. We are going to be pitting some of your favorite characters across all the nerdiest genres against one another in settings that you may or may not know about. You might learn a little bit here, and you're certainly going to cringe a lot because the references are going deep, folks. So without further ado, let's get into our first one, and let's see what we think. Okay, geeks, here are your contestants. And yes, this does feel a little bit like a Smash Brothers matchup. Tom Holland's Spider-Man versus Christian Bale's Batman versus RDJ's Iron Man, and they're fighting on Mario Kart 64's Rainbow Road. Who wins?
Oh, wow. So I think Batman's he's got the worst out of all of them right away because you're fighting on a rainbow. It's not his thing. I think too much happiness just distracts him. And he needs a dark alley with rain and barely lit moon. So I think it's a disadvantage to him. I think the flying Iron Man and the web-slinging Spider-Man clearly have an advantage because everybody falls off Rainbow Road at least once.
No, there's no Lakitu here for you. It's a one-way trip.
It's going to happen.
What do you think, J-Dubs? What does your instinct tell you?
I'm going to have to go with Iron Man on this one. I appreciate Batman's gadgets, but as we all know, those gadgets somehow malfunction from time to time. I think Tom Holland, he will go with his standard, web slinging and try to do it that way. But I think Iron Man is just, especially Robert Downey Jr. Right? He created the Infinity Gauntlet for himself, his own armor, right? Where he had to wear the Infinity stones on his own armor, and he actually made it. I mean, who else can do that? I don't think Batman can. And so, if he can create a sustainable suit to hold the Infinity Stones and still, and still be able to accomplish what he accomplished, I think he can win a Mario Kart match.
So,
or he'll probably create like a whole bunch of like missiles, or the blue shells or red shells. And just
do the red shells work on that suit?
One way to find out, I guess. And an IP matchup that will never happen. So I'm going to take the unpopular stance on this one. I'm actually going to go with Batman. Think the rainbow is your ally. I'm going to go with Batman because he's the only one with a car, folks. He's the only one with a canon vehicle, the Batmobile. So I think that he would have a little bit of an edge on Rainbow Road if the physics and rules of that universe were to apply. Because otherwise, what are you doing? You're running around, you're swinging webs. That's fine. But do you have a G on you? You do if you're Iron Man, but I guess Iron Man could kind of, like, to your point, J-Dubs, make a car out of his suit, right? I don't know.
So I guess
depends what kind of Batmobile you talk about. You talk about like the 70s Batmobile. Like, that wouldn't fly.
Yeah, if it's not shooting fire, like just cheesy big flames out the back, then it's not the real Batmobile.
Yeah. I'm going Batmobile, Batman Returns, the one that the Penguin basically disassembled and turned into like a RC car.
Of course, the classic Roadster.
Yeah.
Remember when it went up the wall with the winch?
Yeah.
That was a moment. That was a moment.
Classic.
Okay. This next one is... This has your name written all over it, J-Dubs. We got to get you first on this one, even though I think I know where you're going to go. So, Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII, the current edition, versus the Dragonborn from Skyrim, versus the main character from Secret of Mana, who I actually didn't know this is named Randy. And they're fighting in Mortal Kombat 2.
Oh man, this is a no-brainer. I mean, you got Cloud Strife. I mean, this guy with the Buster Sword, his limit break. I think once he does his limit breaks, and I don't know. That's a weird matchup.
It sure is.
Matchup. I don't know why they would be in a Mortal Kombat tournament. First of all, if they were in a Mortal Kombat tournament, I'm gonna have to go with my boy Cloud.
Okay, Kiwi, how about you? We all knew where Justin was going to go on this one, but how about you?
So I had to turn my friggin' air conditioner off out here. I live in Vegas, by the way, and we broke a record yesterday, 120 degrees.
I heard
ridiculous.
I heard about all the cars being lined up on the road because they overheated, right? And fun tip, I did not know this, and maybe you know this, Kiwi, but when it's like 120 degrees, and you're doing full blast AC, what you're supposed to do, roll your windows down and put full blast heat.
I will not be trying that, but it sounds maybe.
Well, it's supposed to take away the heat.
To do with the life insurance policy you took out on Kiwi recently, J-Dubs?
Well, everyone was saying that.
Terrible.
I was reading the article, and everyone was just saying that's what you're supposed to do if you live in the valley, in Death Valley. That's trip.
Thanos talk right there.
Yeah, I don't know if I would do that. I mean, the other recommendation was put your AC on medium or lower, which I can probably do. But these people are putting on full blast, and of course their car gets...
See, I just avoid going outside altogether. Just call it a day.
Uber.
Yeah.
So really, I had to...
existing at 120 degrees.
It's go outside, bake some cookies on the street. I had to turn the AC off, so it was Cloud or Randy. Who? What?
Cloud, Dragonborn from Skyrim, or the main character from Secret of Mana.
Boy, oh boy, which is Randy?
Randy.
Oh, let's see. Well, that's tough because Skyrim spells and, the screen, I forgot the name of it, right? I mean, that's tough. Cloud's going to have his hands full. I think just to spite J-Dub, I'm gonna have to go. It's got to be.
I mean, maybe if you like mastered all the constellations and you've got every single word.
Okay. You know what? Wait, hold on, man. Is it too late to change? I have to go with Cloud. He's just OP and he's just badass and he looks cool. Come on. I mean, it's just.
I mean, if you spec him right, he can single-handedly Knights of the Round down Ruby Weapon, right? So it's going to be hard. We're
Yeah.
unanimous. Cloud Strife takes this one. And I'm sorry, Secret of Mana fans, not even on the table. Not even
Didn't
really
even consider it.
relevant. No. It's the little brother with the unplugged controller of characters on this one.
You're doing so good.
Oh, hey, we did it. Okay, next, let's go magical, shall we? Okay, Harry Potter from the Deathly Hallows, Gandalf from Return of the King, so Gandalf the White, or Doctor Strange from Avengers Endgame, and they're fighting in a Pokemon stadium.
Weird arena right there.
And they're not
I'll let
using
you go
Pokemon,
first, Kiwi.
They're not using Pokemon. They're just in the arena, huh? So there's an audience.
There could be Pokemon in there. I don't know. Go wild. Go ham.
I feel like, I was gonna go with Gandalf because it's Gandalf, right? I mean, he's just all powerful, but I really feel like Doctor Strange has the upper hand here. I feel like he was really OP in that last Avengers, and once he started mastering all of his little techniques and tricks, a couple portals here and there, start chopping off limbs or whatever. I mean, I'm gonna go with Strange.
Chopping off limbs. That's right. Like the big guy
That
with
big
what was
dude,
essentially the anchor, right?
Yeah, the big one.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's a tough one. Harry Potter, he's not there yet. He's not on that level yet. Even in Deathly Hallows.
Even in Deathly Hallows, really.
I mean, Avada Kedavra, he's not going to use it. So,
So I'm inclined to say Doctor Strange as well. But Gandalf, he is incredible, but he's not like combat Gandalf, right? Like he can ride down the mountain and cast mass blind apparently on about 30,000 orcs. But I don't know about his combat readiness, even against Harry Potter, who could Avada Kedavra it right up. And so I don't know. I think Strange just has so many different powers, especially. No, this is Endgame, so this is before he got the book. If he had the book, then it's a whole other story. But what do you think, J-Dubs?
I had to remember Lord of the Rings. In Gandalf, true form is a low tier god, but then he somehow, scales down and actually becomes weaker. So it depends, and it's hard to compare universes too. But again, I'm just gonna have to go with Doctor Strange. I mean, he is the Sorcerer Supreme. I mean, this guy controls multiverses. He's a little. He does show vulnerability as a human sometimes, where he makes a lot of mistakes. So I think that is the only thing that he can be faulted on, is he's still a human and he makes mistakes. But I don't know. It's gonna be tough. Like if you're comparing Gandalf when he was at all powerful form, I think Gandalf might have that, just because Gandalf is like true to his nature, true to his abilities, and Doctor Strange might encounter a Tom Holland and be like, "What are you doing here during my fight?" and starts arguing, and then Gandalf just smites Doctor Strange.
I have a big reason I just thought of, and that depends on, because you give Doctor Strange a couple minutes to do his and go through all the different scenarios, he's going to find a way to win.
That's a really good point. But what if Harry has the time twister and he's able to actually step outside of the existing timelines?
Can he do that?
By all of his calculations.
But he's got to do that before Strange throws him into a little mirror universe and traps him. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go from there?
Yeah. And I think Gandalf, he definitely restricts himself.
Yeah.
In all the lore, he purposely, it's like Zeus coming down as immortal, where he relinquishes his powers in order to become immortal. That's, I don't know. And again, Gandalf is not a human. He's not a magical superhero. He is a god, a low tier god, one of the top tier gods, but he's a low tier god.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, he was one of the Eladil? No, Maiar. That's right. So he is like an archangel basically. Yeah. He is. That does speak to him having powers that he did not fully wield. Perhaps because if he did so against Sauron would have had like a corresponding set of powers, so he had to blunt it down. But that 1v1 with Saruman was pretty weak. I have to say that's sticking in my head. Like they're like pushing each other with a stick.
Yeah,
not
and I'm seeing
huge.
Strange fight Thanos and the quick reaction time, and you know what? Honestly, whoever has the holographic Charizard is winning. So let's just leave it at that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there it is. Yeah, that has been yet to be determined. Okay, next, and actually why I'm wearing this shirt. This is right back to like 1987, 88, y'all. So get ready, get in your DeLorean, and let's gun it to 88. Go back to a simpler time.
It is. Was it 88 or 85?
I think it was 88. I don't know.
85 miles per hour or 88 miles per hour?
88
What do
miles
you,
per hour.
what do you think,
Is it
crowd?
88?
If this was live, what do you think, chat? Okay, so here's your matchup. He-Man from Masters of the Universe in He-Man mode, right, riding his lion, versus Lion-O from Thundercats with his sword, versus Optimus Prime from Transformers Gen 1. So this is a la the first run
Gen
toys.
1.
And they're fighting in Central Park in New York City.
All right, I'll take this one first. I think Lionel has the agility, so he's kind of like the fast sprinter and in the jumper, and he's the one doing acrobats like backflips. Where He-Man has the brawn. He's your typical barbarian and like Diablo, and he's just going to try to pound you to death. So he might be a little slow. And then who was the third one?
Oh, Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime. So Optimus Prime has his guns and his cannons. I mean, realistically, it's going to be Optimus Prime. Even Gen 1, even as I think it's going to be Optimus. Unless He-Man gets up and close, then I think that sword can decapitate Optimus Prime.
Kiwi, you look conflicted. You look to be in a soul crisis right now.
I really am, because I'm actually on the other side. I don't think Optimus stands a chance. I mean, it's just it's like trying to fight little tiny mice that are just so quick and running around you. And I mean, he is quick. Don't get me wrong. He's got the cannons. He's got the sword. He's got all kinds of cool stuff. I just think specifically Lion-O jumping around, slicing them up. I mean,
oh yeah,
He-Man does have the advantage because he's got a buddy, he's got a sidekick with him, right? You said he's riding his tiger, so a little bit of an advantage there. But from watching the cartoons, I'm gonna go Lion-O. I think he's got some really proven battle strategy.
What was his special ability once he called the Thundercats? His sword just grew, right?
The sword grew, but there was... It could shine and summon the other Thundercats.
He could summon the other, you're right, like a bat light. And
right. Was that it? Play, and he could summon all the other Thundercats, including Chitara. Optimus might be like, whoa, hey. But that alone might distract him.
Optimus Gen 1 didn't have a sword.
Did he not have a sword back then?
Optimus Gen 1 just had his...
the arm cannon?
Scope pistol.
Oh
yeah, Megatron had the cannon. That's right.
That's what it was.
Megatron had the cannon. I mean, I'm talking about 80s cartoon. Yeah. He didn't really get the sword until the movies.
Yeah, and that's right, and because that was notable. So I think Optimus would be the first to lose, and here's why. If I'm Lion-O or I'm He-Man, and I see this giant-ass robot, I'm probably going to want to deal with that before the other guy with the sword, who's basically just me with, like, cooler mullet.
Yeah.
We both have mullets. One's cooler. Yeah. But here's the thing. Optimus also ethically limited. He's in the middle of Central Park. He's on his now home planet. He can't just go firing off willy-nilly like Yosemite Sam blowing down buildings. Like, he can't do it. So he's going to be much more restrained, whereas Lion-O and He-Man are like, I don't, like, what's up, man? Like, I'm on Castle Grayskull / whatever planet the Thundercats are from. I don't care. I'm here to survive. So I think Optimus is at a huge disadvantage given the setting. If not, I'd probably say Optimus. Ultimately, I think He-Man takes it. He has the power of Grayskull.
Remember, He-Man was in New York. Was it New York City in the movie?
I
remember the He-Man movie, which is another movie adaptation.
Oh, no,
we should not talk about ever again the He-Man Masters of the Universe movie, which I remember I watched on HBO. Did not see that in the theaters.
He-Man Masters of the Universe live action makes the Mario live action from the early 80s or early 90s, that is, look like a Scorsese Oscar winning production.
So I just read real quick too that Lion-O's sword has the ability to counter almost any weapon, and the sword can also give him the sight beyond sight.
Oh, that's right.
Remember, he puts it up to his face, and he can see. Like, I think it was.
Yeah.
Right.
But how does this sword counter every other weapon?
I don't know.
Does
That's
it
what
turn into
Google's telling
something?
me.
It's just the plot vehicle.
Thundercats.fandom is
Ah,
telling me
yes.
that.
Yes.
But I'm gonna stick with Lionel. I'm gonna stick with Lionel.
I like it. I like it. Okay, next up, let's go back into video game land, shall we? And then after this, I've got one just for you, Q. Our contestants: Link from Twilight Princess, Geralt of Rivia from The Witcher 3, and Ezio Auditore from Assassin's Creed 3. Important, they are fighting in Minecraft's Ender Dragon arena.
You're going out full nerd on this one.
Full on, folks. Every possible reference there is. SEO on this episode should be great.
Ooh, I'm a Zelda fan, so I think Link definitely has. Wait, did you say Link or did you say Zelda?
Link.
Okay. It depends what Link is. I'm assuming adult Link. But then again, I mean, I've seen him die in some ridiculous ways. He falls off something that's like 10 feet high and he dies. So I don't know.
It's Assassin's Creed.
So
Yeah.
we got Link and who else now?
Assassin's Creed and Geralt of Rivia. Ezio from Assassin's Creed.
Geralt. I'm going.
Interesting.
I just think he's got the cool factor. I think he knows how to use a sword. And in my mind, I'm just imagining like a straight kind of brawl, right? No potions and powers and spells and everything. I'm going Geralt, but maybe I'm wrong.
I think that even if however you factor in the potions and powders, so Assassin's Creed, you factor in potions and powders, you've got poisons, you've got traps that he could be laying, like there's all kinds of prep stuff that he could have done surreptitiously in advance. But still, though, Geralt, when he's got access to his potions, you kind of go into a world of unlimited power in a way, where it's the same could be true of Link, but in other settings. I think, like especially like a more current, like Tears of the Kingdom Link, he could build like an AT-AT out of, whatever. But yeah, my money is actually on Geralt of Rivia.
Good man.
I think I'm gonna have to go with.
That's
I think I'm gonna have to go with Link. Super Nintendo, Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past. I think the Master Sword, and then the 20 lives. He has the 20 heart containers. So
It's true. You can take a
and realistically, you throw your Assassin's Creed's knives at him, or bow and arrow, or whatever you want to do at him, and he loses one heart container, and he has 19 heart containers more. And then let's talk about his Master Shield. His Master Shield can block those octopus's rocks, and it can block Ganon's magical powers.
Yeah,
it can block a lot of stuff. I mean, that dude can be like Sparta, like a Spartan army of one, and he just moves forward with his shield, with his Master Sword, and he has 20 heart containers. I mean, I'm just thinking Link takes it all.
J-Dubs, I'm flashing to like a cutscene where Ezio's like running along this building, like does this very complicated set of flips across ropes and buildings. Bullet time, drops behind Link, does the dagger, shanks him in the back, jumps back, and Link just looks over and like one heart goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, you got that? My turn.
Okay,
Ooh.
yeah, it's hard to outdo that. Okay, all right, Kiwi, you have to weigh in first on this one. Goku from Dragon Ball Super,
He
so he's
wins.
a little bit more limited, versus Naruto in his ultimate form, Naruto Shippuden, so full 9 tails, versus Luffy for the One Piece Wano arc. So the full, not full power Goku, so early stage Goku. I think that was like Super Saiyan 2 maybe, versus Naruto at his best versus Luffy at his best, and then they're in a WWE WrestleMania ring.
Well, that ring's definitely not going to last. I mean, 2 seconds in, that whole arena is just dust. So that's a good lineup, and I think it's a common one. I think I see that online all the time, right? People are always arguing about that. There's the fans that are going one way or another. It doesn't matter. I mean, if we're talking anything Super Saiyan 2 or later, I'm on Goku's side. We're talking, okay, I'll be real. He can get caught off guard. Don't get me wrong. Naruto is a clever little bastard, but I just think Goku's got it. I mean, he's instant transmission, whatever else that he's just got the power. He can take the hits. He's got the speed. And I think leaning on sort of what Justin was saying about Link and his heart pieces, right? Goku dies, he goes to Otherworld, just puts on a little halo and comes back and cleans up house.
Fish together 8 balls and you're back at it. Yeah.
There you go. I gotta go Goku all day, my boy.
Yeah, I hate these anime questions because, and our audience, they are hardcore anime fans. And I remember we posted that
Big
video of
feeling.
Ayla shipping. It was just nothing but negative comments. You are wrong, violation, criminal. So I figured I figured this is going to be another one of those if we do a clip. I mean, you got your boy One Piece Luffy, right? I mean, he's your comical guy, and he's going to find a way. He reminds me of Goku when he's, the first Dragon Ball, a little monkey, and he's just a playful child, and he somehow wins battles by doing playful stuff, and that's the way the Monkey King does it. Luffy, I think he just finds a way to win battles in a comical way. Like, oops, I tripped over, this magical weapon that can
He
obliterate.
Scooby Doo's his way through all of his victories.
Oh, what an
Yeah.
excellent new verb you've created.
But Goku, if you said Super Saiyan 2, so that's the key. If you would have said Ultra Instinct, I mean, that was going to be no question about it. I mean, Ultra Instinct is just, he doesn't even have to think. It's like that AI. It just thinks ahead of him on how to move. So I don't think One Piece or Naruto would even stand a chance. But Naruto's final form does have drawbacks, if you remember. He can't sustain it that long.
Yep.
It does take a toll on his body. Just like the way Goku's old forms used to do. He used to take that toll, especially the Kaioken, or what's the one that he can double his power or triple his power?
Kaioken.
Kaioken, yeah, the Kaioken red energy, where it uses up his energy and it can hurt him and put him out. So that's Naruto's, I think, demise is that long. So that's gonna be Goku.
Yeah, it's like a burst battle, right? I feel like Luffy might have this early possible advantage because he's underestimated. He could like sneak in a shank somewhere. But then if Naruto had a chance to actually scale up and go full Nine Tails before Goku was able to go Super Saiyan and before/after Luffy threw his best shot at it, I feel like he could probably wipe them both out pretty rapidly. But then, of course, if you give it like 7 episodes for Goku to like get more and more angry and like charge up a Kamehameha for like 3 to 4 months,
Same with One Piece. Same with One Piece, right? They're both doing the filler episodes. And we'll be right back when
everybody just screams at each other for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So you know what? Goku, his biggest flaw is that he plays around too much. I don't think he'll take it seriously right away.
Oh.
Luffy's biggest advantage is that he's almost indestructible. And I think Naruto's biggest disadvantage is that he is human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Just 2 cents. Goku still wins. Just my 2 cents.
Yeah, why'd you gotta bring up the anime topic, John? Now we're gonna get canceled.
So we can hurt feelings. Hurt feelings. Okay, here, this one is actually my favorite one because it seems easy, but I've been thinking about this for about a month. So the Terminator, this is the T-800 Arnold from Terminator 2 versus RoboCop, 1987 film version, versus the Predator, also 1987 film version. And they're in Jurassic Park. Isla Nublar, the original, the OG. We spared no expense. Yes, the original one.
So what do you think? What was the obvious answer in your mind?
Well, I mean, the obvious answer is Predator, right? He's got a spaceship. He's got lasers that like blow holes and everything. Whereas the Terminator, like, is quite durable, but we've all seen like a decently placed laser can knock out a Terminator. And of course, RoboCop, he's got his like auto lock sniper mode where he could potentially like just deal with the Predator pretty rapidly. Still, it's the Predator pretty obviously. But the Jurassic Park thing is what throws stuff off a little bit here, right?
Yeah.
Like, given time to prep, the Terminator is AI. The Terminator is the ultimate AI, right? Like, he is the result of Skynet. So if we assume that he has that computational power, he could potentially GPT-4o his way into killing the Predator. He figures out the mud, right? Or he takes off all of his own skin, and now he's invisible to the Predator. These are thoughts. RoboCop, I feel like, is a distant third. He's not placing well here. He is Tyrannosaurus food.
Yeah, he's Tyrannosaurus food. Yeah, that's the key, right? Jurassic Park. I mean, that's Predator's hunting ground. He understands how to move throughout that and to hunt in that. But you're right. But we didn't see the GPT-4 with Terminator 2. We saw more or less the human side, and we saw more or less of the MMA side, where I'm just going to protect you in bronze. But you're right though. If we do true canon, I mean, I guess he can figure that out. I mean, I think he's smart enough in Terminator 2. I think he is smart enough to remove his skin and be like, okay, because he removed his skin in Terminator 2, right, where he went into the lava. So I think he's smart enough to remove his skin and to figure out a way to be blinded for Predator. But Predator's smart too. I think that is gonna be a close battle.
Yeah, it's
But
yeah. There's
RoboCop
a
definitely has no fight in this game. He
Poor
does
guy.
have he does have the good aim, the lock on aim, like Cassidy in Overwatch, where you can just do a hit scan and just one
Yeah.
shot. You can do a hit scan in one shot, but can you do a one shot on Terminator 2? No. Can you do a one shot on the Predator? No. He's gonna bleed that green blood, but you're not gonna. So he's gonna try that one shot, and he's gonna get speared to death by Predator, and then Terminator 2 is just gonna just punch him in his face. And
What if Terminator actually kills Predator, but Predator self-destructs, destroys Terminator, and RoboCop was on the other side of the island, stuck in the mud in the first place?
Yeah, that's the only way you
he's
can win.
still
He's like,
he's still coming. Here he comes. I'm coming.
Can't.
And by the way, I remember playing that game. Do you remember playing the RoboCop game on PC when it first came out?
On PC. I remember.
The only reason I remember playing that game because it was in Circuit City and Best
No,
Buy
I did on like Nintendo
as one of
or
those
something.
demo games, and it was a 2D scroller. It was like Double Dragon, right? And yeah, and I'm just remembering how weak he was in that game. I'm just like, man, this guy really doesn't have anything going for him except for that robot in his head that says, okay, here's where you can lock on at.
Yeah, I just think canon, right? We're watching the films, the movies. I gotta go Predator 100%. He's got the speed. That's the biggest thing. The Terminator and RoboCop, they just walk, and they just walk everywhere, and they just keep walking. There's not a lot of movement going on there. They're not setting traps like Predator. They're not, sitting back at a far and learning about their enemy for a minute or two. They don't necessarily have. Terminator will see Predator while he's invisible because he also has the scanning and the eyes, right?
Yeah,
I don't think he can hide
scanning
necessarily, but I don't think that'll matter.
See, what we learned about Predator though is when the Predator is a predator. He is not a fighter. Like, he's called a predator because he hunts, and hunters aren't like, hey, let's both be equally matched. He's like, hey, let me snipe you while I'm invisible from my spaceship, right? And so I think it's different when they're both on the ground and they're both in like a knife fight instead of a laser sniper rifle.
Well, see, you put this match in a cage or like a just four-wall room, that's a big difference. That's a big difference. I think Terminator's coming out of that one.
Oh yeah, he will. He will definitely come out in that one.
Unless Predator self-destruct.
Those claws, though, like, are they adamantium? I don't know. Okay, we've got two more to go. This one I think might have some fan. We might engage with a different fan base on this one.
Powerpuff Girls.
That was an option. But instead, Ash Williams from the Army of Darkness. Actually, fun fact, is Justin's uncle. Buffy Summers of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the OG, not the most recent one, versus Blade from Blade 2. And they're fighting in Silent Hill.
Yeah. The sirens go off? Is it during the nightmare stuff in Silent Hill?
Yes.
Oh, Pyramid Head running around out there somewhere.
So before anybody makes a better point, which I'm sure you will, I'm actually going Buffy. She's familiar with the occult. She's like scales, right? So she does have magical powers that are constantly being redefined, that sort of rise to the occasion in a Goku-like setting. And look, this is a dark, evil place. Blade, he's used to vampires. Like, that's only so evil. Ash, like, yes, Evil Dead, Necromicon, that's great. But my money's on Buffy.
Now we're talking about Evil Dead Ash or Army of Darkness Ash.
Army of Darkness Ash.
Army of Darkness, right?
Classic Army of Darkness.
So he's got the book, he's got the hand, the gauntlet, and he's got his boomstick.
Does he have the chainsaw in that one too, or no?
I believe so. Well,
I think he had it on his back or something.
That might be Evil Dead.
Holy shit, I might have to say Buffy also. I want Blade so bad, but you might be right. I mean, Blade's smart. He's fast. He knows how to handle himself in those situations. But one spell, I mean, and that's it, right? He'd have to... Damn.
Blade's got, he's like a tier 1 character in the Marvel Universe. He's got, 0 magical...
Yeah.
Any of the Powerpuff Girls could take him very easily. Either the Fairy Odd Parents Done.
Well, Fairly Odd Parents are useless without Timmy there to tell him what to do.
Facts.
I just remember playing Marvel Midnight Suns, which is like that RPG game with the cards, and just every time I would pick Blade, I would get disappointed. You're right; he doesn't have magical powers. He's more like a Punisher, who is a half human, half vampire. He's strong. He knows how to fight, but again, he's just more like a Punisher. Like he can do certain shots. He can do a spread shot. You know, or Buffy. I do think if we're comparing canon to canon, she's meant to hunt all day long. She's just meant to hunt. Now I can't wait for the new Blade movie to come out.
Yeah,
That's gonna be super interesting.
One of these days,
they need to give Blade a little something. Like they need to give him some like Chaos and the Scarlet Witch, or like they need to give him a little something because that sword with the little pew pew is not going to do that.
no. I mean, unless he's smart. Maybe he drops his sword and gives Buffy the chance to pick it up. It chops her hand off, right? The little spring action thing. Remember that?
Oh.
If anybody touches his sword, and maybe she's a little incapacitated. I mean, he's a smart dude, but then this is happening during Silent Hill too. I mean, you've got sexy zombie nurses coming at you. You've got Pyramid Head running around out there somewhere. Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
I don't even remember who the first option was. I guess we're not talking about them, huh? It was just Buffy or Blade.
Ash.
Oh, Ash. Yeah, sorry, Ash. I love you to death, and you're hilarious, but you're not making out of that one.
He'd get through halfway through one catchphrase, and Buffy would just like crush him. Okay. Yeah. Here's the last one, and I of course have several bonus rounds if we would like, but this one's all about mythical beasts. Smaug from The Hobbit versus Drogon from Game of Thrones. This is the big black dragon, Daenerys' third, versus Falkor from The Neverending Story.
Oh.
They're fighting on Asgard.
They're fighting where?
In Asgard.
you threw me off with Falkor at the end.
Yeah, that was an animal, and he's just gonna get big old. But who knows?
Big old dragon versus a dog.
He is a luck dragon, yeah.
Or a luck dragon. He's called the luck dragon.
What if he's like?
He's called the luck dragon for a reason. So
yeah,
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say Falkor is gonna win because he can shift between reality, like the real world, and he can shift between limbo, where a world is being destroyed due to a little kid's not reading a book, and so the story is falling apart. But Falkor is the only one that can fly through all the realms, so I think he can at least hightail it out there, or at least find some way to shift between realms. And
side note, can we recognize the Neverending Story for calling out that illiteracy would ultimately destroy the world? Thank you. Story.
Yeah, it's a smart movie.
So the funniest thing I'm Googling, does Falkor from Neverending Story have any powers or abilities? And the list is he has the ability to fly and save lives. He
That's it.
has optimism.
Wait, is he fighting with thoughts and prayers?
And that's it. That's what we got. So, I don't know how good he's doing. Now, Smaug is smart. He's not just a dumb animal. So you got to think about that.
He was perhaps the greatest dragon in Middle Earth.
I have to go with Smaug. I mean, I have to. It's just dragon to dragon, right? I mean, Falkor, bystander at this point. He'll optimistically be out there flying around in circles. I think Smaug's going to take it, and then I think Smaug's going to just light Falkor up after he's done.
So Drogon, I didn't go with Balerion, which is like the biggest, probably the biggest dragon ever, other than the outcast dragon, of course, because he being almost as big as Smaug and just being pure fury, it'd be hard to pit that against each other. But I actually will also say Falkor, because his agility, there's no known weakness to luck. Domino and Deadpool, right, lived through everything. Yeah. I feel like, and now it's hard to imagine Falkor, shanking someone, but he, in a survival scenario, would know that missing scale on old Smaugy boy, he's one black arrow away from night times. So I think that he might do it.
Dragons do have their weaknesses.
And the dragon's going to do it.
Look at Deathwing from World of Warcraft. I mean, that was the most powerful dragon right there. He started Cataclysm. He was able to get demolished.
Too true.
Right? Throw some Shenron in there, and we got a match.
Did you say Enron? So
Shenron.
like a lack of regulatory oversight.
Just oil spills everywhere. No.
Chevron. This just went so sideways. I love it. Okay, there we go. We've also got like John McClane from Die Hard versus Lara Croft versus Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible. There's a couple of others out there. We could keep going, but we're probably getting close to time. What do we want to do? We want to do a bonus round, or shall we wrap it up for this?
I'm gonna vote one more. I need one more, and we'll just spitfire. First thought that comes to your mind.
Okay, I've got one for you.
Okay.
Here's your clip. Your matchup: Mickey Mouse from Fantasia, Bugs Bunny from Space Jam, SpongeBob SquarePants from the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, and they're fighting in a Lego city.
I'm gonna go Bugs Bunny. Justin?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bugs Bunny too.
What? The
Yep.
Sorcerer's Apprentice commanding the tides, and you guys are going Bugs Bunny?
Yeah, but he didn't know what he was doing. He was a hot mess. He's just
Is
making
Mickey-
spells and making
Is
brooms
Mickey
dance.
gonna
He doesn't know what he's
command
doing.
brooms and candles to fly at us, or like fly at bugs.
Bugs Bunny could
he's very
literally do.
mischievous. He is very. He can get away with a lot of things. He will find a way, to get away from doom, and he will find a way to play tricks on. He's like the Loki.
Yeah.
I mean, you could put a
universe.
stick of dynamite in his mouth and light it, and he's
he will
totally
find
fine.
something to pull out of his pants, whether it's an anvil or something. It just magically appears.
He's got the Looney Tune powers, man. That's
The
basically
Looney Tunes
Loki,
powers.
like
The
you're
Ac-
talking about.
The Acme weapons,
Acme
man,
power.
live forever.
Well, I mean, we can't
John?
count out SpongeBob. SpongeBob basically invincible. He has an indomitable spirit. We've seen Bugs get sad. Bugs has been broken before, but SpongeBob, unbreakable spirit. And at the end of the day, it's the friendship that matters.
Yeah, A for effort for SpongeBob, but he's not gonna win.
The more
Yeah.
you know.
He's gonna whip out the karate hands, and he's done.
Yeah,
for.
he'll try to. Yeah, he'll do the karate hands. I can see that.
That was a good one. I like that. I like that a lot. So who would go up against Powerpuff Girls then? Who's another trio of superpowered?
So I was thinking Powerpuff Girls versus Power Rangers versus current iteration Ninja Turtles.
I mean, Powerpuff
Or-
Girls are
or-
not to be underestimated.
Powerpuff
Yeah.
Girls versus Sailor Moon.
Oh yeah, maybe Dexter's Laboratory. Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory.
Ooh, yeah. We should have like a genius battle, right? Dexter versus I don't know. Pick some
Other Dexter.
Yeah.
Ooh, other Dexter.
Serial killer versus 7-year-old boy.
Oh no. Oh no. Speaking of things lighted out.
Good times.
All right. Well, folks, thanks for joining us for another episode of RPG, where we talk about whatever the heck we want to talk about. And it's usually some nerdy stuff, and it certainly was this week. We'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah, we look forward to the comment section on this one.
Oh,
yeah, go
don't
ham,
cancel us.
folks.
Don't cancel.
Say the weird thing.